Well, I'm here with Mike Phelan, or Michael Phelan it says on the CD.
It does.
When did that happen? When did you get extra letters to your name?
Well, I was christened Michael, actually.
Really?
That's
Not
the
Mike? Yes.
the way
It goes.
That's the way it happened, yes.
For those who haven't heard any of the music yet, Mike Phelan's a local musician who's recently completed his CD Nothing Left, and he's been filming this afternoon at Kardomah 94 one of the tracks for the is it for the single? Is that what you say? Or?
Well, nicely, I guess the plan is to release a track, and in this case track 10 on the album, Christina Smile, as a single, but it's in general terms intended to promote the album and my music in general, because people like something visual as well as audio these days.
It's good fun. You've been away, but you came back and you end up doing a lot of filming at Spurn for the CD. Did you miss Spurn? Is it somewhere special to you?
No, that was largely coincidence. But you're right. I have lived abroad and away from the area for many years. I've lived in Germany, in continental Europe, and recently in Australia. But I am from the area, clearly, and I've always felt drawn to the coast and the sea for a strange reason. And I've
grown up in Hornsey, surely, isn't it?
No, I didn't. The family's from Hornsey.
Yeah.
I was born and raised in Beverley, but I spent a lot of my childhood in Hornsey.
Yes.
But in fact, Spurn is a favoured location of Paul Hurst of 21 Frets, who did the photo shoot with me. He's done all the photography on the album, and it's Paul who's filmed the video with us today at Kardomah.
The photography is beautiful, often black and white, and it really does get the atmosphere of Spurn brilliantly, and also it seems to fit in so well with your music as well.
That was part of the plan.
Yeah.
Paul is a very talented photographer.
Yeah.
He's exceptionally talented, and I think he's influenced to a great degree by the work of Ansel Adams, if anyone knows, who's famous for his landscapes and dramatic skies. And that's what Paul said. There's a few places better anywhere to capture that desolation and big skies. And in fact, the album cover itself was largely an accident, because as we were walking there was a set of footprints in the sand.
They're not your footprints then?
No, there was a young lady ahead of us on the whole of Spurn Point, because you had to walk down there now. You can't even drive. There was a young girl ahead of us, and she left this trail of footprints. And I said to Paul, we'll get a shot of that, and I could see the album cover there and then.
Brilliant. And the process of the creation of the album from its inception, was it music that you created whilst you were abroad? Because you came back about 18 months ago, didn't you? Something like that?
Well, my life has been interrupted for 25 years nearly, with regular spells of living abroad. And the music on the album, there are 11 tracks, and I've been writing my own songs for many, many years. And I think I've got 60 odd songs. So these date back from all sorts of periods in my life. Some are quite recent, some go further back. So it's quite difficult to choose which ones were going to be on the album. And the original plan was to record the album in Melbourne in Australia, where I've lived most recently. That didn't work out. I bounced back in Hull thinking that I would be moving straight on somewhere else, either back to Europe or more likely to Australia. And by chance I came across Fruit Trade Music, Mikey Scott, a young guy who, in all honesty, I was dubious about working with someone so young. He's a death metal drummer, basically, because my music is definitely not of that genre. And I thought about it. I met him. I thought we'll give him a go. And I tried one song, which actually is the title track, Nothing Left. And it was, I couldn't have been more delighted. I thought it worked out fabulously, and that gave me the confidence to record the whole thing here in Hull at Fruit Trade. And
how do you categorise the music? Because, as you know, I've had difficulty getting it right, and I often get it even more wrong every time I try to describe it, because it's traditional, it's rocky. I see a bit of country in there sometimes as well, and there's a bit of angst in there, so there's a lot of blues. So where does it fit in?
Yeah, I mean, this is a question I'm asked all the time, and what I've found is that, as in many, especially if you're an artist, but in many things in life, people want to pigeonhole you.
Yeah.
And as Bill Cosby once said famously, the only thing a pigeonhole is good for is a pigeon, and I'm not a pigeon. So the answer I must give is that there are only two types of music.
Yeah.
There's good music and there's bad music, and I listen to all sorts of music, and that ranges from anything from punk through to country to classical, and my tastes in music are, in my opinion, it's good music. There's a lot of traditional stuff, and so the album, in terms of the tracks and the type, are a large result of what I've listened to myself over the years.
It's more than an enjoyable listen. We opened the interview with Nothing Left, and we're going to leave it with Christina Smile, which is the track that you've just recorded here at Kardomah 94. How are you going to promote it? How are more people going to enjoy your music? What are you going to do with it now?
Well, that's phase B of the operation, and I'll be quite honest that all the focus so far has been actually recording it and getting it to this point to have a product. The original goal was to have a CD that I could use to promote myself to land live work, more of an upgraded demo, but it's been so successful working with Mikey Scott down at Fruit Trade that I've ended up with a fully fledged album that I can actually probably distribute more commercially. So starting on that. Yeah,
one of the few artists who's played both the KC Stadium and the KC Lightstream Stadium for the fans. There may be small stages round and about rather than the big one in the middle, but it's a good start, isn't it?
It looks good on my CV, for sure.
Great stuff.
Yeah.
Great. So Michael Phelan, whichever you prefer. Thank you very much for talking to Old Kingston Radio.
Thank you very much indeed. It's my pleasure.
And this is Christina Smile from Mike Phelan.
I can't stand the sun, I can't stand the rain, I can't stand the rhythm of the beating of my name. I can't stand the railroad driving sleepers through my pain. I can't stand the beating of the rain. Stand the raging of my soul in the flames. I can't stand the searing of white steel against my brain. I can't stand the driving of these bolts clean through my chains. I can't stand the beating of the rain. Christina Smile, how I tell a lie. Can't stop the tide when the sun's in my eyes. I can't stand the north wind blowing spray into my face. I can see